Good morning, everyone. Very nice seeing you again this morning. It was a really, really inspiring day yesterday, and we talked a lot about well-being of cities. And in fact, one of the most important institutions for the moment in Albania, it's the Albanian Corporate of Investment, which is like a novelty for our country, and you have seen like some of the most amazing 3D models, videos, drone footages of all the corners of Albania. And in the international realm, it has worked as a great PR for our country, and we are really proud to have been somehow part of these processes, either by participating as viewers in these competitions, or also with our colleagues, local architects and international architects. But that, as Marcela mentioned, is beyond just the realm of professionals working in the built environment. It's also for the people and for the well-being of people. And we would like to thank very much Ms. Elira Kokona for accepting the invitation to have this open discussion here today with us and ask to answer the questions, mine, but as well to the participants here. So please feel free to raise your hand later on, and I will serve like as a moderator to receive the questions. Thank you very much, Elira, for being here this morning with us.
Thank you, Josela, for inviting me. Thank you for the nice words and for following what Albanian Investment Corporation is doing. Thank you, Yoni. I can't see him today, but thank you very much for what you are doing, guys. Last year, I remember I have followed you in the session of the 2024, and I'm really very happy to be part of the 2025. And especially, you have all the gratitude of myself, but especially of Albanian Investment Corporation staff for assigning a prize for our activity and for what we're doing. Indeed, it was not only a gratitude for receiving a prize. First of all, it was the first prize that we received, so thanks for that. And but mostly was a moment of reflection for all of us. Because when you have this moment, it's not only the signal, the sign, but it is also a moment of recognition and a moment of reflection. We have done a lot during this 1 year and a half in order to shape cities. And to make possible what until some years ago was totally not conceived or not considered to be possible. The Albanian, the country, like many former socialist countries, has many assets. And some of them, many of them, they are still in very valuable places in the center of the cities or in downtowns, in coastal areas, in mountain. And the properties of the state, of course, are not like 30 years ago, because many social or political reforms has reconsidered the value of the state-owned properties. With several processes like privatization or restitution of properties to former owners and legalization of buildings which has been constructed unlawfully. So many of these processes during the last 30 years has changed the inventory of the state in relation to its asset. But however, as I mentioned, there are still properties, assets, buildings, which do have specific values that are important to be part of the economy and to produce some opportunities to do business in Albania, not only for Albanians, but why not also for investors and foreign investors. So when Albanian Investment Corporation has been conceived as a gate to to be active in offering these opportunities, making possible for investors to see Albanian Investment Corporation, this entity, as an interface between the authorities and their business, their way to find the business and opportunities in Albania. I hope we do have some results to show that we have done some good things on that, because the number of investors coming to Albania and recognizing us in this role, it's increasing, and it's increasing in a considerable way, and this is a good result to say that something good we probably would have done. But another important principle that we try to use and to apply in our project was the trustfulness of partners. Nothing it is possible, especially when you do business, and it doesn't matter who is doing business, it is state or private, but when you do business, when you do something which is good, which is great, which gives hopes, which is inclusive, you need to do it with partners. And in order to get the right partner, we conceived projects in a way that finding the partners, identifying them, selecting them, should have been done, and it is done in a very public, transparent way. We try to do everything in a public events, through bids, for everybody to understand that who are the owners, who are the winners, who are the participants. They should feel good, they should feel that they need to trust the process. And the most important element and the most important impact in this is the fact that many competitors, they still come and participate in our competitions. It doesn't matter whether they are winners or not, but they still come back, which means that they trust the process. And for us, this is the best of the result. It is a competition. The feeling of losing, it's not a good one, but the feeling of participation and the feeling of the fairness in the process, it is the most important of them. So that's why I started by saying that the prize that you gave to us was also a good moment to reflect and to understand that what we are doing, it is followed. What we are doing and the principles that we are trying to impose has been noticed. That investors, competitors, architects, urbanists, experts, they are coming to work with us, to be partner with us, to help us in what we are doing. Apart from the competitions, and I find this another way to say and to spread the word, we are looking for good experts in not only in urbanism, architects and engineers, technicians, but also lawyers, analysts, financial analysts, because in every competition that we're doing, we create a file and we established several principles in relation to the gap or to the thresholds that we need to reach in the competitions and in the projects, in order for everybody to be a winner and everybody to have a gain. In our projects, we do always have two typology of gains. The first one, it is a gain for the community. We do have in all our projects, we do have a public good, which is either identified or requested by public entities and public partners, or it is proposed by us or by experts in a need to be filled and to be accomplished by our projects. Another important element in the project is the gain for the company, the gain for the Albanian Investment Corporation, which is the way how we create our assets, then we put to create other and to participate in other projects. And the third element, it is a good for the investor, for the private investor, who needs to have a return of investing which should be competitive and should be part of the business opportunity. And in doing this, we try to do more than one expertise, more than one feasibility study, because we want to see all the angles. We do want to open competitions, and we need to identify who could be the investors, why they should be interested to participate, why the community should share these values, why this public partner should come to us instead of doing themselves or trying to seek through procurement or through processes which can be a kind of partnership with other typology of partners. So it is a competition for us as well when we conceive projects, but the results are shown and are there and are present, and we hope the cities will have their sign for many years. We started the projects. We do have 3 typology of the projects in relation to the real estate, because I'm not mentioning the projects in technology and the projects that we are having for the economy in general, but I'll try to say more about what we are doing in real estate, and I will be open for questions whether there is interest also for other projects that we are following. For the moment, we have over 70 projects that we are following, and in 1.5 years, almost 2 years, it's an incredible number of projects that we are following with over 20-25 persons, people. Then it's a lot of work. 2 are the main projects in real estate. One of them, it is a big one, which has been entitled the development and management of state-owned properties. We identify projects, or the properties are identified by partners, public or private ones, and we conceive the investment project in that by, of course, identifying the needs and the goals, public and private one. So in this consideration, this is one of the main projects where the public goods, as you have seen, are offices for the public administration, stadiums, sports palace, other typology of buildings which are buildings dedicated to specific group of public entities, to help them to be in cohesion with each other and not to lose time spending going from one part of the city to another part of the city. So trying to keep in the same urban zone trying to get financial districts in one corner, governmental buildings in another, security or infrastructure relevant to police or other security entities in another zone. The orphanage new home, which is the competition, and we are thankful because we received 13 competitors in this project. In the days to come, we are about to open the competition for the revitalization of Palace of Congress, and we'll go on with this. Another typology of project which is influencing the way how the city is being developed it's a project that we used to call it also in English Cobzat, because it's at least to us it gives a lot of meaning. During the years in registering the property, the state cadastre has made probably several mistakes in registering the properties, and there are few Cobza, there are some bytes, there are some very small pieces of land which are state-owned properties, but they are not in the size to be developed in its own. So just to give you an example, for a private owner to develop its property in the vicinity, this owner had over 20 small pieces of public land, which was abandoned because they were the smallest one was 5 square meters. The smallest one was 5 square meters, and there were 20 of them, 5 square meters, 10 square meters, 25 square meters. The biggest one was a kind of 100 square meters, but all of them, they were all spread between private properties, giving the entire zone being impossible to be developed and to be urbanized. So it was a very incredible work that the staff of Albanian Investment Corporation, led by Gerti and Julian, to take all these small pieces and bring them together, kind of patchwork, and in few years, there we will have one of the most valuable zones of Tirana, with 5-star hotels and luxury retail and also residential. If this project that we call Sobzat was not possible to be applied, that area should have been a kind of not used, not urbanized, and this wonderful project, which is also including foreign investors, would have not been part of our economy. So these are these small works, but done with a lot of energy and a lot of passion, that bring to beautiful piece of infrastructure, of architectural works, which then become reality. Another important project that we hope we will do in collaboration not only with the Tirana municipality, but we will try to do it with many municipalities in Albania. It will be a big project relevant to the circulation and to parking zones. Parking and the circulation and the traffic, it's not only an issue in Tirana, but now more and more it's being an issue in also in coastal cities and other cities. I know that there are a lot of studies mentioning the fact that we need to be pedestrian and we need to walk a lot, but we still run, and when you run, it's not so easy just to walk. We need also to go faster, and so we Albanians, we love cars. It comes probably for the time that we didn't have cars. It comes from the time that we didn't have the possibility to have cars. And or because we want to go faster and we want to catch up the times that we weren't able to go faster. So we do have cars, and according to a number which I hope I'm correct, it's over 700,000 cars in Albania, which means that they need to be parked and they need to move. For this, we need to think for more parking areas, trying to use underground or trying to use the geniality of the architects to do some piece of work that can be not only some works for the landscape, but also for the functionality of it. We are together with the municipalities, with the Albanian Fund for Development. We are seeing the possibilities to make this happen and to bring to the community this public good, this service. I can go on with several issues and with the challenging that we are facing, but I would love to have your views and questions.
Thank you very much for taking the time and go with us through all the important things that the agency has done through these years. And in fact, now that some of the projects are being implemented, also for the general public, it's possible to perceive what's the meaning and the value of the existence of the agency in itself. Going with the theme of the exhibition that we have here, that it's like disconnected, is a collaboration with London School of Economics, Abu Dhabi University, and Polis University. We are analyzing the developments of the city, and it's the discussion about infrastructure and mostly how it divides communities in terms of small ecosystems. But if we would make a comparison from that part of the world, a lot of the people here in the room today spend some time in the Middle East while either working in universities or winning competitions there or participating in competitions. So we have had these discussions with each other, but we see that there they applaud this sort of developments. Also, the people in general are very proud of how the cities are being densified, let's say, how the high-rises make new iconic images for their small local communities, but also in larger metropolitan scale. And I wanted to ask, in the case of Albania, we saw that with the discussion of the National Theatre, for instance, that for many it's very clear how the public-private partnership works. And it was a lot of contestation, but as well a lost opportunity to be able to do this sort of partnership. And in the very end, like the theater, it's being built, but it's being built with the institution's budget money, with the taxpayers' money, let's say. So in that case, something that maybe it's not very clear for everybody is the sort of how this sort of financial agreements are being done and what the general public gets from this sort of agreements. So we say that the public land or institutions are being developed, but now from the part of the investors, they sometimes complain because they say that the percentage of the corporate of investment is the highest in the country, which not many people might know. So in that case, like, could you just emphasize a little bit more what's the benefit of the city in the end of the implementation of the project?
Thank you very much for the question, because it is true. The rumors are that we are very expensive, but indeed we're not. But before saying why we're not, I'll start by saying that the fact that for the first time, the state, the owner being the state, for investors in general in these last 30 years, the state was cheap. So the fact that the state is following the trend and is following the market value, it's already an expensive operation, which is not true. We are in none of our projects, we haven't exceeded the value of the market in relation to the development percentage of as a legal instrument. But I insist to say this is the first thing. It is a question of mentality. It is with the Albanian Investment Corporation. For the first time, the state is being seated with the investor, and we are negotiating with them. As I've been working as a lawyer years ago in the private sector. I was representing private investors. So what we are doing now, we are doing totally the same as we used to do, where we were representing the private investors. So the first impediment or the first thing to be changed, it is the mentality. It is the fact that the state, as an owner, is giving value to the properties. What the community is taking the value that an owner gets usually when develops its property. And it's getting, just to give you an example, in the Stadium Selman Stermasi will get, thanks to these negotiations, will get a stadium of, with a standard of four category UEFA category, will get 12,000 or 12,000 square meters parking, public parking, will get a value, a stadium which value will be not less than 75 million euros. So these are the concrete values that the community is getting. And as to the private investor, I insist to say that we are not more expensive than the private owners. This is for sure. And there is another important value that when we try to explain our mechanism, then everybody understands that it's not, the numbers should be seen by near, not by far. And before giving an explanation to the way how our mechanism is working, I'll say something also in relation to the timing. After the competition is finished and the winner is there, and it is given the winning party is declared within the day of the competition, and we try to do a lot of work because we don't want to extend the time, the anxiety of a competition. So we push ourselves to finish everything within the day because we want the winner to know since the day. But for the winner, it starts the new phase, which are the negotiations. And we do have now an example in the Void Tower, when after over 8 months of negotiation, the negotiations were concluded with not a successful contract. And we, for somebody it's funny, for somebody not, but of the public owner be the same as the private owner, which means that the same way that the private owner is negotiating with the investor, this is the spirit that we are doing for the investing. And it is not an happy end to negotiate for 8 months and after that not to achieve the result. But however, this is a way how to get things done and to get things when you have clear ideas and when the feasibility studies will not leave you the opportunity to go lower of the expectation that you have started the competition. With the part that we have in the development contract, we use that part to finance a public good, a public infrastructure. So this gives us the impossibility to go lower on a specific value. And it's a value which I insist to say it is not higher than the market value. We do, that's why I mentioned since the beginning, we do more than one analysis and study. In all our projects, we have a ROI that is never less than 25 or 30%, which for the sector for every sector, it is a very good ROI. For the real estate, especially real estate in Albania, it's not a wonderful ROI because the return of investment in real estate in Albania, at least until some years ago, the return of investment was very high, over 50%. So I can understand the feeling of those who are used to have a return of investment higher, but from the other hand, the market value of real estate in the last years in Albania, it's increasing incredibly. So this is the time for everybody to win, not only for those who are operating in the real estate as a private investor, but the state, the owners should do the same, and should feel that this is the way. Everybody should feel the same in this entrepreneurship. As to the way how we calculate the value, we take the market value. And I'll just give you an example. The market value in the zone of the Aslan Rusi Stadium is 45%. And it is the value that we take these values from several sources. We take this value from NAREA, which is the Association of Real Estate and Brokers in Real Estate. We take this value from contracts that has been registered in the state cadastre, and we take this value and we try to cross this information also with the contracts that several investors has been presented in the public entities, either in taking licensing or in taking permits. So we do trust the market value because we try to cross the information. And according to that information, the value at the area, it is 45%. So we take the 45%, but differently from the private owner, we cash out immediately. Because the private owner take its 40% and they sell it. Usually either they keep it or they treat it and they transfer it through using the market price. To use the market price, of course it is higher than the reference price. But we cash out with reference price for two important reasons. First of all, because we want to cash out immediately, because our aim it is to finance a public good. And we want to finance at that moment. We don't want to finance in a later stage. Because it is not our aim to be a real estate fund. Probably with the passing of years, when the public goods will be financed through this mechanism or other mechanisms, and we will not need emergent public goods to be financed, like the house for children, infrastructures for culture, sport, that are not very easy to do economy. Once we will have all this, probably we will go in the next phase, or another entity will go in the next phase, which will be a fund. We don't have this aim for the moment. The moment is that we need to finance and to comply and to accomplish with the needs of the public investors. So for this reason, our 45% of share in the new development building, indeed, being converted with, being cashing out with reference price, it is less than 40%. So it is not true that we are up the market. We are in the market, but however, we go and we cash out immediately, giving the possibility for the public to have the public goods in their use immediately. And another important element it is that we don't, the competitors, they come in our competition, then they accept to develop in a parallel way the private and the public infrastructure. And the public infrastructure will get the permit of use before the private infrastructure will get it. This ensuring that the investor, of course, following the need and following their interest, will not be attempted to finish the private infrastructure, the private goods, but they need to have also this, not only this, the sensibility to finalize the public goods, but also this obligation per contract to do it. So that's the reason why we are negotiating since months. Another question that we usually get often is when the construction site will be open. We are very happy with the rhythm because we really want to have contracts which are sound and soundproof. We want contracts and partners to be happy, to be very convinced that they are doing, they are having a good opportunity for them. But also we want to give the possibility to architects to detail their concept idea, because we do, as you already know, our competitions. The winners usually are concept ideas, architectural concept ideas. So the architects need to have a good relationship, a very clear relationship with the developer, because the developer has the economic plan. And the economic plan should be clear for the developer to be executed and to be detailed in the project detail. Another important element, and here we are happy to have a kind of influence or help the developers to be more clear in the economic program of the building. Because at the beginning, when developers participating in our competitions, they used to come without clear ideas how the program should have been done. Because the architects, at least in the projects because at the beginning we used to have projects which were only concept idea, architectural concept ideas. But then we discovered that it was not very easy to kind of team developers with architects. So that's why we switched in a better model according to the results we were having. A better model which the architect and the developer, they teamed before entering into the competition, because they find the tunes before coming to us and before taking the engagement to be part of the competition. And we think this is the best, because architects and developers, they need to go in line with their interest. And from the other hand, the developers, they need to have clear idea about the market values, the market prices, why they should have more residences in some areas and less hospitality in some others, or to all the country. Why having offices in the downtown, it is more valuable than having residential in downtown, because the noises or the traffic is not the same as, and the pollution is not the same as in other areas. So in doing this analysis, we are happy to have influenced and sensibilized the developers, and more with our studies, we see that they come in table during negotiations also with their feasibility study. And this is for the best of the infrastructure, but also for the economy that it brings.
Thank you very much. And I'm glad that you went so much in detail in explaining also the technical parts of how these negotiations are being done. So it kind of clarifies also to us that the corporation itself acts as a guardian of the public interest. So it's nice to see that we have like some strong people fighting in some circumstances that are not always like they take time. I don't know if some of the questions that you had in the beginning of the session, maybe they were answered during the discussion, or if you want to ask something more, like you can raise your hands. Yes.
Thank you. Well, thank you so much, Elira, for the presentation. I think that the strategy is like quite interesting, no? Have the possibility of combining public and private efforts to develop sites and also build all these public buildings that otherwise would be impossible due to resources, land, and other reasons. I also find quite interesting these competitions that you are organizing, and you have had the capacity to attract both like local and international architects. And the question here would be if you're also interested in involving international investors for those particular ones, and if so, if you're taking any actions to kind of attract those developers or investors for those particular competitions.
Thank you for the question. Yes, indeed, we are together with, because the competition in architectural aspect, we are organizing in very close collaboration with the National Agency for the Planification and the National Agency for the Development, which makes the partnership, at least in the aspect of public partners, a very important component for the investment to be trustful and to be efficient in time and also in energy. Investors, yes, we do have the interest to get foreign investors, and we're very happy to have had in the last competition of Sports Palace, we do have a foreign investor, which is teamed together with Albanian investor, but also with architects, Albanian and foreign architects in that competition. And in doing this, it is true, we need to be more specified in the way how our mechanism is working. Together with AIDA and with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, we are organizing outreaching campaigns in several countries, not only in Albania but also abroad. We had together in partnership with Raiffeisen Bank, we had a very important investors forum in Vienna a month ago with participation of 78 companies with a turnover which over the billions and over 1 billion and representing 16 countries. And this is a model that we are going to replicate in Albania and also abroad. We are trying to be more and more present in fairs where and networks, part of networks where spreading the voice of the competitions and giving trustfulness to our mechanism, it is the key. We are also in collaboration, and we're trying to build bridges with entities like Albanian Investment Corporations in other EU countries, but also in the United States, because are the best ways to spread the voice, to be trustful, and to kind of reflect where we are and how to be a competitor with partners. I remember at the beginning, because you mentioned the fact that how Albanian Investment Corporation as entity or her mechanisms were skeptical for everybody at the beginning. It is true, but more and more entities, private, the community, those who love what we're doing, those who hate what we're doing, those who like what we're doing, at least they need to be clear whether hating us because they want to hate us, they want to criticize because there are things to be criticized, but if there's something to be appraised, why not? So this is the best way to be transparent, to be trustful, and not to hide before challenging of this kind. And I'll take the opportunity, because I see Anuela here, with Tirana municipality, we have now very successful projects, and we are happy to finalize the contracts and the negotiations with a few of them, giving the possibility to show to their trust that it was right. We did what for the best of the community and for the best of the projects, because with Tirana municipality we are brokers. We are differently from other projects where we play the role of co-investors or co-partners. in the projects that we have with municipalities, we are kind of agent of their doing. So thank you, Anuela, thank you to the staff, thank you to Tirana municipality for trusting in what we're doing and the mechanisms that I know they're going to have the results in a very short term.
Thank you very much for all the explanations. Thank you very much for taking the time and as well for making the introduction to Anuela's keynote here today. In the agenda, we had planned to do a visit at the municipality, and Anuela took the kindness to say that she, in fact, it's coming to us as we are like really close. And herself, except being acting mayor of the city, is a champion of walkability. And it's practically fighting for public spaces and the things that we discuss in our forum. Yesterday, all the team here had the opportunity to do a bike tour of the city with the bike mayor Eden. We saw some very nice pictures and videos. And we didn't have these bike lanes some years ago. Like, it was a fight of people like Anuela, Eden, and all the people at the municipality to have this one. So, as we are proud to show our international guests the bike lanes, we are looking forward in the next years to show them the Aslan Rusi Stadium, the Selman Stermasi Stadium, and all the other very ambitious projects that are being done in Albania. So thank you very much for your time today and for your work and your staff team's work. So congratulations to everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much to all of you. And thank you for following us, for sharing the experience and the reflection. This was for us to thank you, because it was a very good way to reflect in what we are doing. Thank you very much. Thank you.